Good day. Here are the stories for the Manila Times for Friday, April 23, 2021. President Rodrigo Duterte will not attend a summit of leaders of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations or the Asean in Jakarta, Indonesia this weekend, Malacanang announced on Thursday. Palace spokesman Harry Roque Jr. said Duterte would not join because of the face-to-face requirements of the meeting. He will be represented by Foreign Affairs Secretary Teodoro Locsin Jr. Roque did not elaborate on the issues. The Department of Foreign Affairs confirmed that Duterte designated Locsin as his special envoy to the ASEAN leaders meeting to be held on April 24 at the ASEAN Secretariat in Jakarta, Indonesia. The Food and Drug Administration has allowed another hospital to use ivermectin against COVID-19. It is the third hospital to be granted a compassionate special permit to use the antiparasitic drug as possible treatment for the virus. FDA Chief Eric Domingo said another unnamed hospital also has a pending request. He added that 2 companies applied for a certificate of product registration for ivermectin. The Philippines' press freedom ranking fell by 2 notches, placing 138th out of 180 countries ranked by Reporters Without Borders, the Commission on Human Rights said on Thursday. In its 2021 World Press Freedom Index, the RSF reported that the Philippines possesses state troll armies that use the weapon of disinformation on social media like Russia, India, and Vietnam. It also said that Filipino journalists have been attacked by pro-government activists, with a group noting similar incidents in Bangladesh and India. In its summary of the situation of journalism in the country, the RSF noted how the Duterte administration targeted the Philippine Daily Inquirer, online news platform Rappler, and its executive editor and chief executive officer Maria Ressa, and the threats and intimidation faced by ABS-CBN network. All 3 organizations have been the subject of tirades by President Rodrigo Duterte. President Duterte has finally appointed Carl Kendrick Chua as the Secretary of the National Economic and Development Authority or NEDA, Malacanang confirmed on Thursday. Chua's appointment came a year after the president tapped him as acting NEDA Secretary following the resignation of Ernesto Pernia. Palace spokesman Harry Roque Jr. said Chua served the Duterte administration with professionalism, competence, and integrity as Undersecretary of the Department of Finance and as acting Secretary of the NEDA. A leader of the House of Representatives urged the United States, a longtime ally of the Philippines, to donate its extra COVID-19 vaccines to the country. Deputy Speaker Rufus Rodriguez noted that the US had inoculated over 200 million of its 330 million population. The lawmaker cited reports quoting Dr. Anthony Fauci, Chief Medical Officer on COVID-19 of the White House, saying that the American government will no longer need the millions of doses it agreed to purchase from British-Swedish manufacturer AstraZeneca. Rodriguez said that greater access to Western-made jabs would lessen the Philippines' dependence on China in the procurement of vaccines. He lamented that Filipinos were left with no choice but the Chinese-made COVID-19 vaccine, CoronaVac. Topping business, the government has returned to the international market for the second time this year by raising 2.1 billion euros or 122 billion pesos from its latest triple tranche bond offering, which will be used for budgetary support. In a statement on Thursday, National Treasurer Rosalia De Leon said the total amount raised from the Euro bond offering was composed of 650 million euros for the 4-year tenor, 650 million euros for the 12-year tenor, and 800 million euros for the 20-year tenor. In sports, the Philippine fencing team left the country on Wednesday night to compete in the Asia-Oceania Olympic qualifying tournament slated on April 25 to 26 in Tashkent, Uzbekistan. Vying for Olympic slots are 2019 SEA Games gold medalist Jillian Nicanor and CJ Concepcion in the sabre event, Haniel Abella and Noelito Jose in the epee event, and Nathaniel Perez and former UAAP Juniors MVP Samantha Catantan in the foil event. With the exception of Catantan, who recently won bronze and helped Penn State University clinch runner-up honors in the US NCAA Fencing Championships, the Filipino fencers were joined by national head coach Roland Canlas and Armand Bernal in a 9:30 flight to Istanbul, where the former University of the East champion fencer will join the team. The national fencing team underwent a 2-month bubble training in Ormoc City under the supervision of Mayor Richard Gomez, who is also president of the Philippine Fencing Association. Rigoberto Tiglao and Ruben Torres are today's front page columnists. Tiglao believes the Chinese maritime militia invasion was a hoax, while Torres talks about workers facing off against the military of Myanmar. Today's editorial talks about the climate summit hosted by US President Joe Biden. Read a full version on the paper's opinion section or listen to the Voice of the Times. For more news and information, get a copy of the Manila Times on print, subscribe to its digital edition, or log on to www.manilatimes.net. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, and keep up with the Times. With the Fort Villaseran, this is Alec John Seco reporting. May you have a safe Friday ahead.